everyone, it's your girl Bree, and we're back with a tutorial. So we're just going to go through the influencer finder tool a bit, and we're going to use different use cases, starting off with, let's say a restaurant is looking for a foodie. We're going to find a local restaurant, a foodie to come in and shoot some content about maybe their restaurant week specials, or maybe they have something coming up for Halloween, whatever it may be, but they need influencers. So let's act like we're going to find them. So we're already on the dashboard, we're already signed in. Let's click on hire influencer, or you can just go straight to the influencer discovery tool by the left panel. And over 800,000 influencers are already showing for this customer. Keep in mind, the number right here changes. Is dependent on how you onboard to the platform. This is one of our demo accounts, but as you can imagine, when you actually answer a few questions as you sign up, these results are going to vary based off of what your inputs are. Now, in the previous video, I explained that a local restaurant might have a small budget for influencers coming in because they're already giving them free food, and they might just have a small budget, like let's say $500 to $1,000 to book a few influencers every month. So let's just say $500 for the month of September because part of the month is already done. So let's say they might need 3 influencers. That's about $150, $170-ish per influencer, and I'm also thinking about transaction fees through the marketplace, which is 5%. So they might need some nano influencers and micro influencers. Now, why do I say nano and micro influencers? Well, nano influencers, they might be able to do a gifted collaboration with them where they give them a really good, maybe appetizer, entrees, dessert, and in return, they get 2 or 3 pieces of content. That all depends because every influencer is different. There's no general rule of thumb, even with the suggested rates and such that we have on here. That is just a formula we're using, inclusive of their followers, engagement rates, their total likes, average likes. Like we use a lot of things just to have a baseline. But at the end of the day, if you want content usage, if you want them posting more than once, if you want them using, a tracking link to get more people to make a reservation at your space, whatever, then they have the right to charge more. And then it depends also on how many days do you want the link in the bio? How many days do you want them resharing on the story? All of that, is dependent on your collaboration agreement with them. So that's just something to put out there. So I've already put nano influencer, micro influencer, micro influencer. And I probably want someone who's pretty active. So they at least posted within the last 7 days. Cool. They need to be in the US. But let's say that this restaurant is in Houston. Okay, then I'm going to just put Houston for the bio. But keep in mind, as I mentioned before online and in our emails, we do have some more filters coming out. So sometimes playing around with this can be, creative. You got to be creative. But we do have a city filter coming out soon. So you'll soon be able to just type in the city that you're looking for, and that's going to make your searches way easier. Then I'm going to select, I'm looking for foodies, right? So I'm just going to select food. Have some folks coming up. Now let's see. We only have 12 influencers, and that's likely because I put within 7 days. I'm just going to make this within 30 days. And keep this in mind. All the influencers that show first are coming from TikTok, and then you can select if they have YouTube or Instagram. I'm going to just must have Instagram. We want this number to at least get, I would say under 100, because I personally don't want to look through 300 people, maybe not even 100 people. It just depends on the restaurant. But if only, let's say 30% of people accept the collaboration, depending on the niche, the industry, etc., you might need to send out more collaboration agreements. So if they want to book 3 influencers or maybe 5 for the rest of the month, it might be best to send out at least 20 or 30, collaborations. So I've got down to food. Now we need to know if they're in Houston. So I'm going to put Houston in the bio, because one thing I like is if I'm looking for local influencers, I want to know that they're in Houston and that they promote Houston on top of that, because that means, for me in the audience, I be going to their page because they talk about things to do in Houston, food places to eat in Houston, places to work in Houston, places to XYZ in Houston. I appreciate that, and I think that that's something you should do if you are a local business that needs local influencers to come in. That means that could be a gym, that could be Pilates studio, yoga spot, restaurant, etc. If you have a local business where you're in a specific city and you need influencers that are talking about things to do in the specific city, make sure Houston is in their bio, or make sure, whatever city you're in is in the bio. That could be, let's say, Brooklyn, New York, or New York City, or whatever it may be. Just that's just a hack. I see better campaigns of those folks. So this person looks interesting. And, even though her suggested rate is $913, so that might not be in our budget, but maybe one day it will be. So I'm just going to save her into our save list just because she might be good in the future for something. And I might want to connect with her. But it's cool that she actually does make food content and that she last posted, within a month. She has 57,000 followers on TikTok, which is great because TikTok has a better ROI when it comes to influencer marketing. She has an average engagement rate of 7% and over dang near 2 million likes. That's amazing. So that's something to keep in mind. And what's dope is this month we're rolling out lookalikes. So you'll be able to view their profile and soon you'll see an option to actually click on lookalikes and see who else is making content like Discover V. So that's something to keep in mind. Now let's just keep scrolling down. We'll see, okay, Top Chef food reviewing around Houston. This might be a good one. The collaboration rate is a little low, but that's because he is a nano influencer. So this might be a good opportunity for a gifted collaboration because even though his suggested rate is $30, maybe we can give him $100 worth of food, or maybe we can give him a really nice dining experience so he can leave a review. That's something to keep in mind. The engagement rate is good. The total likes is good. Even though it's a small follower, keep in mind that there's people that go viral on TikTok that only have like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 followers. That's not what matters. What matters here is the engagement rate. He has 6%. Well, she has 7%. So they have a similar engagement rate, even with 2 different followings. So that's something to keep in mind. So I would save him as well. I would have to go through some more of their TikToks to see. But what I do like is the folks that already have like food in their bio and stuff. So, you play around with the tool just to see who else as well. But as I'm scrolling down, I might want to find people who have food in their bio. So I'm also going to add food or even foodie. All right, now we're getting more and more granular. So this guy's in Orlando. Actually, at some point he must have lived in Houston. But now we got more folks, and this is still in our budget because let's say their budget is $500, right? And we need to get at least 3 to 5 influencers. Okay, so this one looks like a good look, and keep in mind everybody that we still need to do deeper research, which means you need to go on their TikTok. You need to see if they actually are making good content. So Mag Sior, let's just click on one of her social medias. So I'm going to view TikTok because like I said, it's a better ROI. And let's just see what her content just looks like from the eye. So she promotes Houston, cool. She promotes food, cool. Lifestyle work, cool. My computer's running a bit slow because when it comes to TikTok. Cool. So she does promote work. We could definitely get an idea that she's, at work and stuff. So that's cool. All right. Starbucks. Cool. What I'd like to see is if she's promoted a restaurant before, or a local spot. So this is a museum that she promoted, free bar class. Okay. So she promotes. Okay, so it looks like she already promotes places, which is great. They're not huge numbers, but this still might help with awareness and just giving her the right direction because she's just doing this on her own. It looks like. Oh well, there you go. This one had 30,000. That's not bad at all. That is actually a good indication. So she promoted something for Restaurant Week and it got over 30,000 views and 15 comments. So I think that we got shape. I think this is actually interesting because then if she would have had some kind of call to action to reserve a reservation at this restaurant, that would have been amazing. So I'm going to assume that she did not get paid for those collaborations, but now there might be a good opportunity. So let's say that we want to add her to the list. I think that she's a good fit and she's in our budget. 7,000 followers, 7% engagement rate. She's had over 2 million likes, 210 videos. So she keeps creating videos. Suggested rate 135. Again, you can play around. You can see if you could offer a one free meal and maybe $50. So you can have the link in bio. Maybe you can increase the value of the meal. Maybe she can come in twice and create 2 videos. This is where you have to get creative on your end. But she's another good pick. So I saved her as well. So now we already have 2 or 3 folks considered. And it's still within the budget. This guy, but this says Crazy SA Foodie. So I'm going to assume that he's actually in San Antonio. So I'm going to keep it pushing. We already said we're going to probably collaborate with him as well. All right, cool. So I think I've already found enough people that I think would be good to move forward with. But as time goes on, I probably would go back in here and look for more folks that I think are a good fit. Now let's see what else is over here though, because it's a restaurant. It's not just focused on food. Maybe they have good wine. So let's click off the food. Let's click on wine. And I'm going to see if there's anything else specific that I might want to have highlighted. So we got food, wine, maybe lifestyle, but that would probably be my third. This is like my secondary option. So now we have these, I would say similar folks, because food, wine, not every foodie drinks wine, but it's just something to keep in mind. Wine enthusiasts. Okay, this person might be in Houston. So let's see, what's theirs look like? Are they like a wine brand, or are they just wine enthusiasts? That's what I'm curious about. Okay, so they actually go places. So if the restaurant also has a great selection of wine, this might be a great person to add into the collaboration. So I'm going to save him as well. Yeah, I'm going to save him. Now let's see what the suggested rate was. $281, still in that budget, right? Because now we got a few people in here. I've already had some people saved before, but now we got some folks in here with their, and if you look at their profiles, we can refer back to their rates as time goes on. But I would say this is probably a good selection of people to work with. So now I'm going to click send offer, because I want to, maybe he has a lower engagement rate, and yes, he has a higher following. But I don't think with this engagement rate, I don't think I would spend the entire, my max budget or anything like that. So I might give off, a long, maybe like a one-off paid post to see how it works. I want a TikTok video. I want a brand mention, and I probably will even give him the free food, right? Or in a free glass of wine. But since he's focusing on wine, maybe it might just be, a free glass of wine and a charcuterie board. It depends on the restaurant. And I might just offer on top of that a $100 payment. And this would have to be due within, before the end of the month, to get it posted. So now down here, we have the personalized message. Hi, wine enthusiast. I hope this message finds you well. Reach out on behalf of, and then it needs to say your restaurant's name, right? Because we absolutely love your content. Think you'll be a great fit for our upcoming campaign. What kind of campaign? We should get granular here. This is just a personalized message that y'all can always change. Keep this in mind. Another thing is add in like some kind of campaign brief. The cool thing about what I'm going to mention is we have some updates rolling out in the next 2 weeks where you can add inspiration links. You can add campaign briefs. You can create your own campaign briefs through the platform. But for now, if you can at least like maybe upload a file or something where you just have the TikTok inspirations for, competitors and stuff. We could throw that on a PDF and put that in there. And that's fine. But we already have a tool coming out for that. So that's the good thing. And you'll be able to see a sneak peek of the tool on the next video. So that's just something to keep in mind. So you can act like we added something here. Now I'm going to preview this before I send the offer. And I'm going to, assuming you made those edits, then you'll just click send offer. Because this is a demo account, I'm not going to be sending the offer, but this is something to keep in mind. And you can do that with each person. So yeah, so we've selected a few influencers that go in the budget of that $500. They could also find, 5, 10 more influencers to just give, free food to in return for, a TikTok post. But it's easier than you think. Yes, you have to spend some time, but I mean, we only spent about 15 minutes really just looking through it, and we found enough people that likely will accept the collaboration and can move forward. And if you can do that at least once or twice a month for your small business, your business will grow because people will talk about it. People will post about it, have raving reviews. People will start commenting, and it just starts building up the algorithm online for your actual brand. So the question is, do you want to actually win in influencer marketing, Or do you want your brand to just remain where it's at? I think that you guys should win. And if that's the case, check out the link in the bio, start a free trial. If you want to talk with me and have a demo, let's do a demo call and let's figure out how we can win together with influencer marketing. All right, that's me.